What does it mean for Jesus to be the Lord of our lives? What does it mean for Jesus to rule every area of our hearts, our lives, our minds, our politics, our money, our resources? What does it mean for us to put full trust in his hands? Hey everyone, welcome to our live stream. I'm so glad you're joining me for this pre-service, pre-sermon breakdown. And if you're watching from home or work or just scrolling through, I'm glad that you are here. Today kicks off something very special, something very powerful, a brand new series called the 8 Arenas of Life. Yes, the 8 Arenas of Life. And I believe it could be a turning point for you, for your family, for your walk with God. And so let me start with this. Let me ask you something. Have you ever tried listening to your favorite podcast, your favorite music, watching a show and you're listening to it with your headphones on, but as you've got these headphones on, you can't focus because there's background music, there's people trying to talk to you and interrupt what you're trying to listen to, and suddenly you can't hear a thing because there's just too much going on. It feels overwhelming, and sometimes life feels just like that. We're constantly pulled and distracted, and with our culture, our politics, our family, our money, our resources, our social media, even our past can get in the way. Our very emotions can even come and crowd out what we're trying to think clearly about. So many voices, and they're all competing to be heard at the same time, right? All of them want to be the loudest. But what if you don't have to manage all those things by yourself? What if you don't have to be the one to hold those voices in place in your life anymore? And I'm not just speaking about the voices from the headphone. I'm talking about now in your spiritual walk, in your spiritual life. What if what you are hearing can be tuned into the things that bring you peace, joy, hope? What if the voice that you were listening to could be the anchor of your soul and guide you in the right direction? That's exactly what Jesus is for all of us. This series is all about that. We're going to explore, what does it mean for Jesus to be the Lord of our lives? What does it mean for Jesus to rule every area of our hearts, our lives, our minds, our politics, our money, our resources? What does it mean for us to put full trust in his hands? We're not just talking about in theory. We're not just talking about on Sundays. We're talking about for all of our lives. The Bible says in Romans chapter 10, verse 9, if you declare with your mouth and believe with your heart that Jesus is Lord, then you shall be saved. If you believe that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. This is so important for us. If we are children of God, it's because of what God has done. That's more than just a salvation verse. It's a surrender verse. Have you surrendered your whole heart to God? When you say Jesus is Lord, you're saying that he gets the final word in every arena of your life, from your faith to your finances, your relationships, and for the rest of everything else that you've got going on. Here's where it gets practical. We're going to walk through 8 arenas of life that help us to deal with faith, money, politics, work, education, relationships, identity, and even entertainment. We're going to hit all these areas because each one of these is influenced by voices, the culture, tradition, media, even our own personal traumas. All of these voices are speaking to us, like the headphones on with all the different things happening. It could be a distraction. But what if change could come by Jesus being the loudest voice in each one of those areas, Jesus being Lord of our lives? So here's the questions for you today. Who's really calling the shots in your life? What voices are you listening to when you make decisions in your life? As we prepare to dive into this service, I want you to reflect on God's goodness and God's direction, God's clarity, and the fact that Jesus is Lord. As we prepare to dive into this service, I want you to reflect on this. Where in my life have I allowed other voices to lead louder than Jesus? That's a powerful point for all of us. Am I ready to surrender in all of those areas, not just in word, but in action? That's the critical, important part for us. Over the next 8 weeks, we're not just going to preach at you, right? We're not just going to tell you what to do. We're going to help by equipping you with a tool, a lens, to evaluate every area of your life. Is Jesus really Lord here? Is Jesus really Lord there? We're going to look at all of it because there's freedom in following one voice. There's freedom in following one voice. There's clarity in submission. And there's peace in knowing that one could lead you better than anyone else could. This series right here could be the one that changes your whole life and how you think about everything, right? In all of those arenas. So I need you to lean in. Open your heart and let this moment be the moment that you say, truly, Jesus is Lord. Let this moment be the moment where you say, Jesus, can you speak into every part of me? Not just the spiritual stuff, but all of it. I want to challenge you to go listen to the entire sermon that I'm going to post. Listen to the clips, listen to all of the shorts. I think it's going to be a great encouragement to you as we navigate over the next few weeks. I pray that you receive Jesus as Lord and that you are willing to share that with somebody else if you've already received Jesus as Lord.